Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing great. First things first, I wish all of you a very happy and a prosperous New Year 2024. May all your hopes, wishes, and aspirations come true during this year 2024. Now, this is going to be a new video by International Tax Academy by Manoj Naudiyal. I am Manoj Naudiyal, and the video is going to be on OECD's new PE proposal. PE stands for permanent establishment, very popularly used terminology. So OECD's new PE proposal. Now this video is going to be divided into four parts. It's not going to be a very long video, it's going to be a short video, but nonetheless it's going to be divided into four parts. First one would be the background of these PE proposals. Second one would be the structure of the PE proposal. Third one would be the PE proposal, that is the PE article, and the fourth, the next steps. Fine. So without further ado, let's get started. Yes, so the background, the first part would be the background. Right? On 16th of November, 2023, that is last year, on 16th of November 2023, OECD released a small document, public consultation document, which was titled as Provision on Activities in Connection with Exploration and Exploitation of Extractable Natural Resources. Yeah, quite a mouthful. I'll just show that document to you. So this was the public consultation document. Right, titled Provision on Activities in Connection with Exploration and Exploitation of Extractable Natural Resources, released on 16th of November 2023. Because it was a discussion draft public consultation document, so it was the comments from the public, they were open from 16th of November 2023 till 4th of January this year 2024. So between this period, the interested parties could send their comments to the OECD. Now this document was prepared by OECD's Committee on Fiscal Affairs, Working Party 1. Working Party 1 is a subgroup of OECD's Committee on Fiscal Affairs, Working Party 1 on Tax Convention and Related Questions. It had recently undertaken some work on amendment of commentary on Article 5. It had undertaken work on amendment of commentary on Article 5. Amendment of commentary on Article 5. Yes, that's right. Amendment of commentary on Article 5. Article 5 of the OECD Model Tax Convention, all of us know that it's one of the most popular articles of the Model Tax Convention. Article 5 deals with the permanent establishment. So OECD's Committee on Fiscal Affairs, Working Party 1, had recently undertaken work on the amendment of commentary on Article 5. Not amendment of Article 5, amendment of commentary on Article 5. Fine. And the purpose of this work was to include an alternative provision. On activities in connection with exploration and exploitation of extractable natural resources. Provision on activities in connection with in connection with exploration and exploitation of extractable natural resources, right? Extractable natural resources. Now, what do you mean by extractable natural resources? For the purposes of this small document, let me tell you, extractable natural resources mean oil, that is petroleum, oil. It means natural gas, oil, gas, and it means minerals. Fine. So again, provision on activities in connection with exploration and exploitation of extractable natural resources, of provision of activities in connection with exploration and exploitation of oil, gas and minerals. Now, these oil, gas and minerals, they are found in two areas, in two regions. These may be found in offshore regions, that is offshore regions. I'll tell you, this is offshore region, this is sea, this is sea. So when you do the mining activity here, this would be the offshore regions. So you extract oil, gas and minerals from the seabed. This is the seabed and the subsoil area, right? So these extractable natural resources, oil, gas and minerals, they are found in seabed. They are also found, these activities are also conducted in the onshore regions, that is on land, right? So you have oil rigs, drilling is being done, you have mines and all, right? So extractable natural resources, oil, gas and minerals, the activities may be conducted on the offshore regions and the onshore regions, right? So this was the background, that this the proposed PE article relates to the exploration and exploitation of oil, gas and minerals, and this exploration exploitation may be conducted in the offshore and the onshore regions, fine. So this is the first part, background, right? Second part, the structure of this provision. Remember this, offshore and onshore, right? Okay. Fine. Second part, the structure of this article. Structure. Now, since I've already told you that the work which was conducted, the document which was released, the work which was conducted was related to the amendment of commentary on Article 5. So if you look at the OECD Model Tax Convention, Article 5 commentary, you will find that there are 1 to 169 paragraphs. There are 169 paragraphs in the commentary in Article 5. Now this document, what it has proposed, this document has proposed further 33 paragraphs, that is from paragraphs 170 to paragraph number 202. There are 33 paragraphs, and OECD wishes to add these 33 paragraphs in a running sequence after these 169 paragraphs. So these 33 paragraphs of this document, they would be added after these 169 paragraphs of the commentary on Article 5. From these 33 paragraphs, paragraph number 177 contains the new PE proposal. It contains the new, this 177th paragraph, this contains the new PE proposal, that relates to exploration and exploitation of extractable natural resources. Fine. So this 177 paragraph contains a new PE proposal that relates to exploration and exploitation of oil, gas and minerals in offshore as well as onshore, right? Okay, now this PE proposal, it's in the form of an article. This is supposed to be, OECD has drafted it as a freestanding article. So this may be included in the existing bilateral tax treaties between the countries. So it's a freestanding article, drafted as a freestanding article, right? It has a lower PE threshold, very important, lower PE threshold. The key highlight is it has a lower PE threshold of just 30 days, lower PE threshold of 30 days, very important. And this provision, this proposal is very much, this proposed article is very much similar to the one which is found in the existing 200, around 200 bilateral tax treaties. It's very similar to existing. It is very much similar to the provision that is found in the existing around 200 bilateral tax treaties. Fine. Tax treaties. And it has got this proposed article has got 4 paragraphs. Fine. So this is the structure of the document, the basic features and 4 paragraphs. Fine. Let us move further. The PE article or the proposed article. Let us look at that. Okay. So you have the article. 4 paragraphs. 4 paragraphs in the article. The first paragraph is a non-obstante clause. Non-obstante clause. What do you mean by non-obstante clause? Non-obstante clause is something that, a clause that begins with notwithstanding. So the first paragraph of this proposed article, proposed PE article, says that this article shall be applicable. This article shall be applicable notwithstanding the provisions of Article 5 and Article 13. Article 5 and Article 13 of the OECD Model Tax Convention. Article 5, the PE article, the original PE article, and Article 13, the capital gains article. So first paragraph of this proposed article says that this proposed article shall be applicable notwithstanding the provisions of Article 5 and Article 13 of the OECD Model Tax Convention, right? I've already told you it's a freestanding article. Fine. Okay. Second paragraph, very important. It defines relevant activity. Very important. Defines relevant activity. Relevant activity. What do you mean by relevant activity? Relevant activity, and this second paragraph has got two variants for offshore as well as second offshore plus onshore, meaning to say that OECD has provided two variants. OECD has provided the countries with two variants. The countries who wish to apply this new PE article only to the offshore activities, they can choose this variant, and the countries who wish to apply this new article, exploration, exploitation of extractable natural resources, to the offshore activities as well as onshore activities, they can choose this variant. Fine. Relevant activity. It says, it defines, so second paragraph defines relevant activities and activity. Relevant activity is an activity carried on. An activity carried on offshore. Remember offshore, right? Offshore. This is C, right? This is seabed, and this is the subsoil. Fine. So this variant defines relevant activity as an activity carried on in the offshore area for the exploration and exploitation. Activity carried on in the offshore area for the exploration and exploitation of the seabed, subsoil and its natural resources. Right? Exploration and exploitation carried on in the offshore area for seabed, subsoil and the natural resources. Fine. Offshore variant. This second variant includes this plus same exploration and exploitation activities carried on in the onshore area. That is the phrase which is specifically used is onshore finite natural resources. Onshore finite natural resources. So this is the specific phrase that is used plus specialized activity. Fine. So this is the relevant activity. Relevant activity is an activity carried on in the offshore area for exploration, exploitation of seabed, subsoil, plus in the second variant, onshore finite resources plus the specialized activity, relevant activity. Now, this is a relevant activity, but then second paragraph goes on further and it contains an exclusion. What is the exclusion? Exclusion is operation of ships or aircraft which are designed or modified and used for towing, carrying of personnel as well as operation of vessels. So operation of ships and aircrafts which are designed and modified and used for towing of personnel, transportation of personnel, towing of anchor, and operation of vessels which are carried on, which are operated for ancillary activities for exploration, exploitation. Their activities, their operation is will not be deemed as a relevant activity. So this is exclusion. So these activities are not relevant activity. Very, very important. Fine. So second paragraph, as I told you, is very important. Second paragraph defines relevant activity for offshore, one variant, offshore, onshore, second variant, and it includes an exclusion as well. Fine. Second paragraph. Third paragraph. The operative PE provision, that is the lower PE threshold. Right? Okay. Third paragraph, the operative provision or the lower PE threshold. By the way, these subheadings, non-obstante clause or the relevant activity definition or the operative provision, this is not included. This is my understanding, my interpretation. Fine. So third paragraph is the operative provision. It says, so this is R country, this is S country, this is ARCO. Third paragraph says that if ARCO, which is the resident enterprise of state R, carries on relevant activities, if ARCO, which is the resident enterprise of state R, carries on relevant activity defined in second paragraph, carries on relevant activity in the other contracting state S for a period exceeding 30 days for a period exceeding 30 days in aggregate, if ARCO carries on relevant activities in other contracting state S for a period exceeding 30 days in aggregate in any 12-month period, commencing or ending in the fiscal year concerned, then the activities of ARCO in state S shall be deemed to be carried on via a PE of ARCO in state S. Right? So meaning to say that if ARCO carries on activities in other state S for a period of more than 30 days in any 12-month period, commencing or ending in the fiscal year concerned, then ARCO shall have a PE. It will be deemed that ARCO has a PE in state S, and you would see that the threshold has been lowered considerably from Article 5.3. Article 5.3 project PE, it has a considerably high threshold, and compared to that, the threshold has been lowered considerably in this new PE proposed PE article. Fine. So very important. Third paragraph, the operative provision. Right. And the last provision, that is the last paragraph, that is the taxation of gains. Okay. Taxation of gains. So fourth paragraph is taxation of gains. Three subparagraphs, 4A, B and C. So fourth paragraph begins by saying that taxation of gains upon alienation. Taxation of gains upon alienation of A. Immovable property that is defined in Article 6. Taxation of gains upon alienation of immovable property associated with exploration and exploitation of natural resources. Fine. In state which is located in state S. Second, B, taxation of gains upon alienation of movable property. Movable property of permanent establishment. Located in state S. And here in B, you again have two variants for offshore as well as offshore plus onshore, both variations. Right? So taxation of gains which are derived upon alienation of movable property belonging to a permanent establishment pertaining to offshore or onshore activities. And C, taxation of gains upon alienation of shares or other comparable interest which derive more than 50% of their value at any time during the 365 days preceding alienation, and more than 50% of their value is derived from immovable property or movable property or combination of A plus B. If these shares are alienated, then A or B or C, if any of these three sub-paragraphs are applicable, then taxation of gains that are derived upon alienation of immovable property and or movable property and or shares, then S may tax these gains. S may tax these gains. And you would find that this fourth paragraph is very much similar to Article 13. This A is similar to 13.1, Article 13.1. This B is similar to 13. to 13.2, and this C is similar to 13.4 article of the OECD Model Tax Convention. Fine. In each of these three cases, S may get a tax, S may tax these gains. Fine. So these are all the 4 paragraphs of this proposed PE article. The key highlight is a lower PE threshold, right? Okay. Last part of the video, next steps. What can be expected? As I have already told you, this public consultation document was open for public, for the interested parties to send their comments and feedback from 16th of November 2023 till 4th of January 2024. Fine. OECD had sought inputs regarding certain areas. First of all was extractable natural resources. OECD wanted to know from the public that whether the new proposed PE article should be applicable only to oil, gas and minerals, or should it even be extended to renewable resources, that is wave, solar, wind, tidal, as well as hydroelectric. So OECD wanted to seek input from public that whether this new proposal should be made applicable only to oil, gas, minerals, extractable natural resources, or should it even be extended to these renewables. Very, very important. Secondly, because of a lower PE threshold, only 30 days, remember how is profit attributed to a permanent establishment? Profit attributable to a permanent establishment is calculated on the basis of authorized OECD approach. And so OECD wanted to know that because of this lower PE threshold, 30 days, would there be any challenges? In attributing the profits to permanent establishments? What challenges and how do you counter them? Second, OECD also wanted to know that whether the word which is used, design and modification of ships, is it sufficient or should there be certain changes to that? And there was one or two further areas upon which OECD specifically sought comments from the public. Now, OECD further says that whatever will be the discussion draft, the input in this discussion draft and the comments which will be sent, ultimately this discussion draft and the comments, they will be incorporated in the next update to the OECD Model Tax Convention on income and capital. Fine. So ultimately this will be included as a part of OECD Model Tax Convention and the commentary part. Fine. Now, extractable natural resources, as a concluding remark, I would say that extractable natural resources, they are because these are very important for developing countries, African nations, South American nations. These are very, very important for developing nations, LDCs, and that is why probably OECD, which is primarily a grouping of developed nations, OECD thought that let us prepare a provision that takes into account the interests of the developing countries, so that they may also be able to derive value from the taxation of gains which are related to the resources which are located in their territory. Fine. So this proposed article is very, very important for the developing countries, and I'm sure that I hope that they keep this in their mind while they plan to make any updates to the existing bilateral tax treaties. Fine. So I hope you did derive an understanding and awareness into this hitherto not talked about small document, because I've hardly seen any posts on social media regarding this. So I thought that this would be a nice small video that would bring this small proposal into highlight. Fine. So with these words, I would thank all of you for staying with me, for being with me, and until next time, thank you so much.